Hello, I'm Michael Green from Steinbauer Performance, and I'm joined here today with Cam Mandel from Tabor Diesel. He's been working with us for 10 years selling our products, so first of all, congratulations and thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Since you've been doing it for this many years, what would you say are the main benefits from the ag market with Steinbauer?
We're quite far north, so we end up with snow. The farming season for us is quite short, so the farmers get out in April, try to get their crop in April and May, and sometimes they run into snow as early as September, late September, October. So for them, it's really important to get out there and get that crop off as fast as they can. The Steinbauer module for the last 10 years for us has allowed us to support these customers so that they can get their crop off quicker. They can get more performance out of their machines, they can harvest more in a day, and they can get more crop put away.
So mainly, what is the customer feedback that you get back?
The feedback, Michael, has been quite good. We've been at it for 10 years. Generally, we're not with a product for 10 years if it doesn't serve us well. The customers like the product. A lot of advantages with the product. It plugs in easily. We can ship them. We're a really big market in Western Canada. Some of our customers are 1,500, 2,000 kilometers away, 800, 1,200 miles. We can ship them by mail. We ship them by courier service. Farmers can install them themselves. And it's interesting, over the years there's been lots of stories from customers, and a couple years ago, it was an older gentleman from a few hundred miles away, wanted to try a module. He had 2 combine harvesters. And so we shipped him this module and he installed it, and he calls me a day later and he's upset because he said, I'm burning way more fuel. Before I put the module on, I was able to go 10 hours on a tank of fuel, and now I can only go 8.5. I'm burning way more fuel. But I said, the issue though is not how much fuel you're burning, but how much are you harvesting? Well, what's that got to do with anything? And I asked him about the monitors in his machine, and he kind of didn't understand. So I ended up talking to his son that was in the other combine harvester, and I explained to him, I said, you know what, tomorrow when you guys go out there, why don't you just see how many bushels you harvested and see how many your dad harvested with the module on there. Well, I ended up calling a couple days later, and their calculation was they did 6% more grain in 8.5 hours than they did with the other machine in 10 hours. So I didn't hear from the old guy anymore. So yeah, it's interesting with the product. We get really good results, but sometimes guys don't know how to interpret the results, and we really work hard at educating them. If they just look at fuel, if we're going to throw another 100 horsepower at a combine harvester, they're going to burn more fuel. Like, there's just no way around it. We're going to burn more fuel. But how much production?
Yeah,
how much grain? How much grain are we going to harvest that day? How many acres are we going to put away? That's the important thing.
The next question is flashing. It's out there. What kind of, results have you seen, or what's the difference for you? In
our market, there's some flash tuning out there. We had a customer just this past the spring of 2016. Had a new big quad track machine out there, 550 horsepower. Had a huge big air seeder on the back, and he couldn't pull it with the horsepower that he had. He needed more horsepower to pull the machine. So he gets a flash tuning guy to come out of Calgary. He hooks up to the ECM and gets his laptop out and flashes this tractor, and then the tractor wouldn't start. So the flash tuning guy gets on the phone with the company that's supplying this product out of down east, and they're back and forth on the phone. And so then the flash tuning guy goes back to Calgary, Alberta, talks to the guy, comes back the next day, reflashes the tractor again, still won't start. This is a brand new tractor. We're talking more than $1 million worth of equipment there, and the farmer can't use it. Then the next day, the guy quits answering his phone. So here the guy is sitting there with his tractor, it won't start, he's got to put his crop in, he has to get the dealer to come out to put the factory program back in. And that's the kind of service sometimes you get out of those flash tuning guys. We hear about this story because 2 days later he calls us up and buys a Steinbauer from us. Plugs the Steinbauer in, and away he goes and is able to pull his machine. The flash tuning stuff, they end up shutting down a lot of the safety parameters. They ignore a lot of the things that are going on in these big engines. Heat is the enemy of these big engines, and if you get them hot and if you start ignoring temperatures and things, you're going to do some damage. The other big thing with flash tuning is that a lot of these guys are leasing their machines now. 2 years from now, they decided to get another tractor. With flash tuning, you spend your $2,000 or whatever a flash is, and you put it in the machine. It goes with the tractor.
Yep.
You got no value. With Steinbauer, you just unplug the module, and oftentimes we've had customers over the years where they've traded their machine and they've used it on 3 different tractors or 2 different combine harvesters because the engine was the same.
Right.
And with Steinbauer, you just unplug the connectors, unplug the power, and it goes back to stock. So that's we've been at it 10 years, and we got quite a few thousand modules out there. We got all happy customers that I can find.
Thank you for the 10 years, and it's always a pleasure to have you here.
All right.